Hi Gandhi class, welcome to your fourth maths lesson this week. And our learning objective for today's lesson is, can I draw, read and interpret information from a bar chart? So in today's lesson, we are going to be learning to explain what a bar chart is, to complete a bar chart using given data, to identify and use key information in a bar chart, and to draw a bar chart. But before we begin, we are going to have a go at answering these starter questions. So on your mini whiteboard, please answer the questions 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pause the video now, and then we will go through the answers. Okay, so here are our answers. Question number 1 says, how many children's favourite colour is green? So we need to have a look at our bar chart and then find green along the axis. So we can see here, favourite colour, green. Then we need to look at the bar chart and see where it matches to. So if we go all the way across, we can see it's somewhere between 4 and 6. What number's in between 4 and 6? Well done if you said 5. So 5 children's favourite colour is green. Question number 2, you need to find the total of £3.25 and £4.78. So you need to add together your pounds first, then add together your pence and use your knowledge of knowing that £1 is the same as 100 pence to answer the question, which is £8 and 3 pence. Give yourself a tick if you got that correct. Then you need to calculate 84 divided by 4, which is 21. Well done if you got that one correct. And question number 4, what is the value of the 4-digit in 451? So if you have a look at that number, we're looking for the 4, which is here, and we can see that it is worth 400 or 400s. So well done if you got that correct. Okay, so I want you to explain how you think you could use the pictogram to complete the bar chart. So have a quick look at the pictogram and then have a look at the bar chart here. I want you to pause the video and have a think about how you could use it to help you complete this. Okay, so by looking at this pictogram, first thing we need to do is have a look at the key. So we know that every time we see that pink circle, it's worth 5. Then we need to have a look at the different birds there are, and we need to find their total. So let's have a look at doing that now. So if we have a look at the robin, we can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 circles, and each circle is worth 5. So 4 times 5 is 20. So we know 20 robins were spotted. Then if we have a look at the pigeons, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we know that each circle is worth 5. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So we saw 35 pigeons. And then the sparrows, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 in total. And then the dove, 5, 10. So now we've got our totals, we can use this to help us fill in the bar chart. So what you would need to do, find the total for each of the birds. So if we have a look at the robin and then have a look at the robin down here, we can see that the total for the robin is 20. So we'd need to draw a bar all the way up to 20. And then we do the same for the pigeon, the sparrow, and the dove. Now we need to explain how the table has been used to complete the bar chart. So pause the video and have a look at the table, have a look at the bar chart, and have a think about how it's been used. Pause the video now. So similar to what we discussed with the pictogram, we can see the total of the number of birds spotted, and we can see that a bar has been drawn to show that. Now we can also see with this bar chart is that the axes have been labelled. So this axis has been labelled bird, and then further labelled with the different types of birds. And then this axis has been labelled with the number of birds seen, and it's got the numbers up the side here going up in equal amounts. And there is also equal spacing between each of these amounts as well. We've also got a title, a bar chart to show the number of birds seen in the garden. It's really important that we make sure that this is included because it tells us what the bar chart's going to be about. And then if we have a look at the bars as well, we can see that they go up to the number that they've been given in here, but also that they are of equal size. They're all the same size, and they've also got the same amount of space between each bar. So that's how the table has been used to help complete the bar chart. So now we need to answer these questions about the bar chart below. So let's get the highlighter out. A, which year group read the most books? So we've got on this axis the year group and the names of each year group. And then on this axis, the number of books that were read with the numbers going up the side. And we need to find the bar that is the highest number of books. So let's have a look. Year 1 read 40 books. Year 2, we can see read 70 books. Year 3 read 80. Year 4 read 60. Year 5, if we go across, they also read 70. And year 6 read 30. So which year group read the most books? Well done, year 3 did. And we can see that because not only is the bar chart the highest, but it's also on here the highest number as well. Okay, so let's have a look at the next question. Which year group read the fewest books? So again, we need to have a look at each of the year groups and we need to find the bar that is the shortest, that read the least amount. So if we have a look, we can quite easily see that year 6 has got the shortest bar and that they only read 30 books. And just to double check, if we look at the one that's still quite, also quite short from year 1, we can see they read 40, but that's more than year 6. So that means that year 6 read the fewest, the least. Okay. Now let's have a look at part C. So how many books did year 3 and year 4 read all together? So what do you think this question is asking us to find out? Pause the video to have a think. Well done. It's asking us to add together how many year 3 read and how many year 4 read. So let's have a look. Here's year 3. If we follow the bar up and then across, we can see that they read 80 books. And then we need to have a look at year 4. So if we find year 4, here it is, follow it all the way up. It's landed on 60. So we need to add together 80 add 60 to figure out the answer. So pause the video now to have a think about what 80 add 60 is. Okay, so 0 add 0 is 0. 8 add 4 is 14. So we need to put the 4 there, and then we need to carry it along. Then 0 add 0 add 1 will be 1. So it's 140. So year 4 and year 3 read 140 books all together. Okay, so let's have a look at the last question. Now this question says, what is the difference between the number of books read by year 1 and year 5? So what do you think this question is going to be asking us to do? Pause the video to have a think. Well done. So we need to find out how many more books one class read than the other class. And to do that, we could take the smallest number away from the biggest number. So let's have a look and see how many year 1 read. So here's year 1. If we go up, we can see that year 1 read 40. And now we need to have a look for year 5. So we'll go across. Here's year 5, go all the way up and then across again, and we can see that they read 70 books. So we need to find out what the difference between 70 and 40 is. And we could do that by doing 70 subtracted by 40, or you could see what you need to add to 40 to get to 70. So let's have a go at subtracting 40 from 70. So 0 take away 0 is 0. 7 take away 4 is 3. So that means that the difference is 30. So 30 books is the difference. So the astronaut wants to turn this tally chart into a bar chart. But what does she need to remember? I want you to pause the video and have a think about the important things to do with a bar chart. What do we need to make sure we have? Pause the video to have a think or a discussion with somebody who is nearby and free to do so. Okay, so we must remember a title. Every bar chart needs a title. The title tells you what the bar chart is all about. We also need to remember labelled axes, which means each of the sides needs to be labelled. It could be labelled with, for example, this one, we'd want to label it with the favourite drink. So we'd have one bit that says favourite drink, and then we'd section off into each of the types of drink that were chosen. And then up the other axes, you'd need to have the amount, so the numbers of who chose that favourite drink. So let's quickly draw that for you so that you can see. So if this is our bar chart, we'd need to have the title, which would be a bar chart to show favourite drinks. Then we'd need to label this axis as favourite drink, and then we'd label it further by saying which drinks there were. So we'd have water, fizzy, orange, apple, and so on. And then up this axis, you would write the number. And then you would have 0 at the bottom here. And then you'd split it into a suitable amount. So if we have a look at our highest number here, we've got 5, 10, 15, 16. So we may decide then to split it into twos. So 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. Or you could go up in ones. It depends on what works best for your bar chart. So it's really important that we label the axes as well, because it tells us the bits of information that we need. You need to make sure it's at a sensible scale. So as I said here, we could go up in twos by looking at the highest number that we have, and then putting the scale up to suit that. You're not going to have your scale going up to 100 if your highest number is 16 on your tally. You need to make sure that your bars are of equal width and equal spacing in between. So you're not going to have a bar that looks like this and then a bar that looks like this. They need to be the same with an equal amount in between, like so. So you wouldn't draw it like this, you would draw them like this. And you need to make sure you use a ruler. This one is probably the most important thing that you must remember. If you don't use a ruler, it's going to look very messy. It's going to be very hard to read. And also it will be very unlikely that you'll be able to have that equal spacing between each bar and the width of each bar. So please, please, please make sure you use a ruler. So now it's your turn. I want you to choose between activity 1, activity 2, and activity 3. And then you can challenge yourself further with the challenge questions. So this is activity number 1. You need to use the table to complete the bar chart. So the bar chart axes have already been drawn for you. You've got the numbers up the side for you already, and you've got the labels of each of the colors there below. But you're going to need to add the bars themselves. You're going to need to label your axes. So what is this bit showing? What are you going to write here? And what is this bit down here showing? And then you need to make sure you've got a title. So your title could be something like a bar chart to show, and then tell me what it's showing. If you're completing activity number 1, please pause the video here to do that now. Okay, activity number 2, you need to answer the questions about the bar chart. So here is your bar chart. You've got the title of it, you've got the different flavors of ice cream, and you've got some numbers up the side. Question number 1 says, what information is missing from the bar chart? So what is missing? Question 2 says, what is the most popular flavor of ice cream? So which one's chosen the most? Question C says, what is the least popular flavor of ice cream? D says, what is the difference between votes for mint and the votes for chocolate? E says, how many votes were there in total? What do you think that question might be asking you to do? And the last question says, write a question of your own about the bar chart. If you are completing activity number 2, please pause the video here to do that now. Okay, activity number 3. Use the tally chart to make a bar chart. Now remember, you need to make sure that you include everything that we discussed a few slides ago. So you've got favorite drinks and the tally here. So pause the video if you are going to be completing activity number 3. And please, please, please don't forget to use a ruler. And the challenge activity. So you've got 3 challenges here. Here is a bar chart to show points scored in a quiz. Team B have more points than Team C, but Team D has fewer points than Team C. Complete the bar chart to show how many points Team B and D could have. So use this information here to help you complete the bar chart. Then the next question, Julia draws a bar chart to show the number of children having school dinners. She says 44 year 3 children have school dinners. Is she correct? Explain your answer. So you would say, yes, she's correct because, or no, she's not correct because, and explain your answer. And the last question, a class collects data about goals. Team A scored 5 goals. Team B scored 5 fewer goals than Team C. Team D scored 10 goals. And Team C scored 10 more goals than Team D. You need to draw a bar chart to display this information, choosing a suitable scale. So that's the numbers going up the side. Please make sure you upload all your work to Tapestry Gandhi class, and I will see you next time. Bye.